Messi Co, breaking Major League en la ciudad del sol. Here in Miami, we know who's el campeón. Leo my team, yeah. Suárez on the field, Alex wedding dating. Como que ya es un win, the trio of singing muchachos. Las familias se escuchan los barrios. Esta camiseta pinky la llevan todos los guachos. Los rookies quedan sin comentarios. Messi ambetea, tiki-taki gol. El estadio Chase bañado en gloria y sudor. Aquí se ama y se respeta el balón. Florida es tu casa, acostúmbrate al calor. Estate listo pa' Messi Co. Estate listo pa' Messi Co.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another live episode of Messi Co. I'm Ashley here, as always, with my co-host Gian, and here we got a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, we have an elimination game tomorrow, back in the same place we were 1 year ago. And this year, I had said before the series I didn't think it was going to go to 3, but it is going to 3. Inter Miami will be hosting tomorrow. Lots to talk about with that match. Obviously excited, nervous, all of those things. But I'll start the show as always with, how are you, Gian?
I'm doing good. Happy to be here. Happy to have you back. You were on a trip, so it's nice to have you back here. And all is good. It's Friday, and Friday's always fun. Friday's good. You work hard Monday to Friday, and then you get to party and chill, relax, do whatever you want to do on the weekend. And it just so happens that we have an elimination game this weekend, so that's gonna be fun. But I'm good. How are you? How was your trip? How are you doing? Are you jet lagged? How are you doing?
I'm luckily not jet lagged anymore. I don't think I was gone for 10 days in Spain and England, which was super fun. Went to a Tottenham match that was not good, but I was happy I got to go. And yeah, it was just overall.
Excuse the moving of the squares. For some reason, our cameras aren't right, so we're trying to fix that. But so yeah, you went to the Tottenham game. The Tottenham game was cool.
It was cool, except it was Tottenham versus Chelsea, and Tottenham just had an absolute nightmare of a performance. But then in the Champions League 3 days later, they scored 4 goals. So wasn't my day. But
Tottenham plays Chelsea this weekend, right?
No, they played Chelsea last weekend.
Oh, they played Chelsea. Who? My bad. So who do they play this weekend?
I don't know.
I don't know.
They play Man United.
Man United. Yeah, there's some good. If you watch Premier League, there's some really good games.
Premier League's been really good this season. A lot of good teams. So yeah, it's been cool. But yeah, the trip was great. Also being in Spain was great. I got to work on my Spanish. Basically, only spoke Spanish for the time I was there. So it's all good. But happy to be back and happy to be able to witness tomorrow in person at the stadium. It's gonna be a hell of a game.
Yeah, 100%. And we're both going to be there, which is cool. So
Yeah.
I can't wait. And also, my wife is going to be there, which is I'm kind of excited about. So she's going to go. She's not going to be with me. Obviously, we're going to be in the media section, but she's going to be there with friends in the supporters section. So it'll be fun to see her there with Vice City and Southern Legion and all of them. So that'll be fun to do. But yeah, no, I'm crazy excited. Happy Friday, everyone. Daniel Burris here.
So it's super excited. It's good to be back. A lot of storylines to address. We can start with the last match in Nashville. Obviously, Inter Miami won the first. The second one was a very, very physical match, probably more physical than even we were expecting. What did you see in that game? And although Messi scored and he got a great goal towards the end of the game, it obviously wasn't enough to get the victory, and so or even the tie to go to penalties. What did you see in that game?
So this is I think one of those games that you've seen often with Inter Miami where you just wonder what the hell went wrong, and it's just like they have possession of the ball, they're able to touch here and there, but without really doing much. And it was just one of those games, one of those unpredictable games. I mean, they just a few weeks ago they played Nashville and they scored 5 on them, and then now they can't score more than 1. I think that there were definitely some inconsistencies within the game, like outside of Inter Miami's hands. I'll say that. But I guess what we can probably do is just talk a little bit through the game and see how it started. Obviously, Sam Surge starts the game off with a PK, and he puts Nashville up 1-0. That was in minute 9. I wanted to talk about that PK because I'm wondering what everybody thinks about that. Not sure if you have an opinion on that, Ash. I didn't think it was a penalty, honestly, and it.
I'll tell you what, I'll say
I
this.
feel like it also depends like on what team you're on, but it was close, and I just felt like when Sam Surge went into the box and Rios Novo comes out, I feel like Rios Novo gets to his position first, and the one that ends up making the contact at that point was really Sam Surge. He's the one that makes contact with Rocco, not the other way around. I mean, I'm not like so hard set on it that I'm going to fight somebody over it, but from my point of view, that it didn't seem like a penalty.
I'll tell you this: if it was Inter Miami player in that situation, it would not be called a penalty. That's what I'll say, and you can take that for whatever you like. Was it? But regardless, it was only in the 9th minute, so Inter Miami still had 81 plus minutes to
I know
figure it out. But
that
it
first game, like,
was
sets
a
the
tough
tone.
call.
It sets the tone. Like, you right away, you're playing, and 9 minutes in, you get a questionable penalty, one that wasn't even reviewed by VAR, which was
Yeah.
strange. There was no review or anything there. And then whatever, they keep playing, and then they get scored on a second time by in the 45th minute. So just another unfortunate one. So they go down into the half, down 2-0. They make changes. Noah Allen comes out. Segovia comes in. Baltasar comes out later on in the 54th minute. Silvetti comes in. So they made some offensive changes, obviously taking out Noah Allen and bringing in Segovia, and then Silvetti over Baltasar just to get a bit more of that like dynamism, some speed, right? And really just trying to look to win the game. I think as I look at this game, like one of the things that stood out in that first half was you had that penalty in favor of Nashville, but then you had that play with Tadeo Allende, and I believe it was a 32nd minute where he gets a pass right in front of the goal. He misses it, but
No.
but this is I know what you mean, but to me he got pulled down, and it should have been reviewed for a penalty. And what was crazy is not only did the referee not call it, but VAR didn't even review it, and it's just it's weird. Like, I really, to me, that was a penalty. It should have been reviewed. Like,
Weird. And then not only that, but I think we can say something else that happened that really didn't go into Inter Miami's favor was what is going to be who the team won't be with for tomorrow's game. But before we go, I want to finish it, but I was just saying, finish the recap. But I was just saying, yeah, like the call's not going. I would say maybe quote unquote even handed is something that I think I remember we spoke about this very early in the season. The beginning of the season, we had 5 or 6 like games in a row where there was a decision that specifically went against Inter Miami. And look, obviously the team has been great all season. Haven't been able to get the trophies, but it's not been something like an epidemic or something that has turned the season upside down and made us, like 15th in the league. No, but we have said multiple times this season that it sometimes feels like with officiating, it's specifically in MLS, their bit of advantages played to teams that don't have Lionel Messi and Luis Suárez starting for it. And I'll say that for me, you don't have to hold the same feeling, Gian, or as strongly. And I think every league in the world, you say the same thing about your referees. It's just like it's part of the game. It's just there's a lot. It's so subjective how a referee performs in each game. It's just so subjective, and VAR is supposed to help alleviate that subjectiveness. I don't think it's probably being used correctly in the way it's intended. But yeah,
I agree with what you said, though. I like you see the same plays, the exact same plays officiated 2 different ways, and that's one of the things that I think for this league, and that same problem exists in other leagues, but we're talking about this league, needs to be officiated differently in a way where you know what to expect. Like that to me again was a clear pull, and then you have one penalty that was questionable in the 9th minute that wasn't reviewed, and then you have one that seemed not questionable, very clear, that also wasn't reviewed. So it was just,
That's a 2-goal
unfortunately,
swing right there.
yeah, unfortunately, it was not good. Unfortunately, it played out against Inter Miami in both situations, which I think kind of really sucked. But anyways, they go into the second half down 2-0, and they had some opportunities to score. Like, it's not for a lack of. They did have some opportunities to score. They just couldn't put the ball in the back of the net, unfortunately. And then right at the end, minute 90, Messi gets a ball from Nepal in the box. He takes a couple of dribbles and he puts it in top right corner. Just an absolutely amazing goal, and gives Inter Miami life with 6 minutes left in stoppage time. And I promise you that at that moment, I thought that it could happen. Why? Because when
Me
Messi
too.
takes the reins, when Messi is leading, like, you're like, okay, 6 minutes left. This is Messi time. I've seen him do this before. I know he can do it. And I honestly had hope, like, despite Inter Miami not being able to, not looking good for 90 minutes, I really thought they still had a chance. I want to say something because I feel like we've had this conversation quite a few times. To me, I think there are multiple things that went wrong in this game. I think one being, obviously, your all-stars were not at the best. Messi obviously had that goal in the minute 90, but Suárez wasn't at the top of his game. He had an opportunity early on in the game to tie it, and he hit the post. Then De Paul, obviously, he's been having performance issues for a while, and Jordi Alba wasn't at his best. So I think that that's one thing you need moving forward, is you need the best from these two guys. But if there's one thing, one key to why this game did not work, to me, is you don't have Busquets in the midfield. You had Busquets playing in defense a lot of the times. You had him too far back. That's my opinion. And when you do that, you don't have that connection in the midfield. How many guys can place a filter ball into a running Messi or running Tadeo Allende or a Jordi Alba? How many times have we seen Busquets do that? And how many times have we seen anybody else do that other than Messi? But Messi can't pass it to himself, obviously. So
we're trying, though.
But I mean, without Busquets in that midfield, it looks completely like terrible. It doesn't work. And that's one of the reasons, if you remember, Ash, last season when we lost in the first round, we didn't have Busquets. I can't remember how many games it was, but he wasn't able to play. It was either 1 or 2 games, and the team looked awful, and they obviously were not able to play. And even though he's on the pitch in this game, he's not in the right position. He's not in a place where he can actually impact the game as much as he should. And that's what we missed. We didn't have anybody putting passes, because Busquets, or putting passes into forwards that are running into space. Why? Because Busquets was in the defense. I don't know how you feel about that. I'd be interested to see if you think the same, or if you think next game Busquets should also help out in defense and make a back three, the center back split left, right, and then Busquets sits in the middle. I hate that. I hate that.
Yeah, I agree. I don't like it either. I think it's something we've done, like, when it's must like situational, and that all of our defenders are out or unavailable, or you have like a lead that you're trying to then have a low block. But for a game like tomorrow, no, I'd like to see the back four. I think we'll be expecting a 4-4-2, I hope. And yeah, I hope Busquets will be starting in the midfield. That's with him retiring, him and Alba, you want to see them playing in their best positions, and the positions they've, excelled in throughout their career. And now you should have, you'll have Maxi Falcone available, Noah Allen available, Ian Frey. That's your starting, along with Jordi Alba, those are your starting back four. And even if you don't say Noah Allen, let's just say, which I would disagree with, you'd say, okay, then Lujan. And I mean, I wouldn't love that, but I'm just saying, that's a back four, and that's all of those things still have you with Sergio Busquets starting in the midfield. But so it's been 15 minutes, and I think we can finally talk about someone who will not be playing. There we are. Someone who will not be playing in tomorrow's game, who you mentioned just now. that Inter Miami and Javier Mascherano will have to account for, and that is Luis Suárez. Luis Suárez has been suspended for Game 3 against Nashville, and obviously this must-win, do-or-die match, due to post-match review where the MLS disciplinary committee watched and deemed his kick on the Nashville defender where they're both going inside the box, and it seems for Luis Suárez standards, I would say it seems kind of unintentional, but we understand how that's not necessarily how everyone views it. But regardless, it was even though during the game it was not given a red card nor checked or the check was over for serious foul play and was not considered serious foul play. Ends with a suspension and him not being able to play. So that means tomorrow we'll probably see Allende and Messi as sort of your two, and I imagine we'll probably see Silvetti or Silvetti and Segovia or something like that. I don't think we'll see Fafa start, but Luis Suárez has, I'll say once again, allowed his behavior and his reactions, whether this is warranted or not, lead to him not being able to help his team in a important game, and that's just how you want to say it. Whether you think it's fair or not, I'll let you get into it. I think it's harsh, but it's still Luis Suárez, and Luis Suárez still has created a situation where it could even be put up for discussion. And to me, that's a problem on him. That's not, you know what I mean? Like that, if it was different circumstances, or if you didn't, there's a lot of things you can say, but it's not like the thing this reason or this position that Luis Suárez is in is not because he had zero fault in his way he sometimes performs or plays or reacts in game situations. So I know I'm kind of giving a bunch of different thoughts for it, but I just think you can be mad at the MLS disciplinary committee. You could be upset and think it's unfair towards Inter Miami, which I do. But I could also say, well, if only Luis Suárez didn't do 100 million things in the past to put himself in this situation where people would think he is intentionally trying to kick and hurt the Nashville player, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Look, I'm not an idiot. I know what he did. Like I think most of us know what he did. Like that wasn't accidental. It was. I probably shouldn't admit this, but I've done the same, like playing, and when I lose my cool, like
Well, people call you the Ecuadorian Luis Suárez, so it makes sense.
Oh my God. But I haven't bit anybody yet, so maybe that's
Okay,
one of the things I
well.
have left to cement that name. But look, for those of us that play the game, there's little things that we do sometimes on the pitch that we know aren't the right thing. We're not trying to crack somebody, break them. We're not trying to injure them, but we're trying to teach them a thing or two. And I think that's
Get the advantage.
it's like, sometimes you kind of punch somebody, nudge them with your shoulder, you pinch them, you do weird crap like that. And sometimes if you're annoyed, you swing your leg back and it's going to make contact, you're not going to hurt them. But that's what Luis Suárez did. Luis Suárez swung his leg back, knowing he was going to catch Najar, probably pronouncing it wrong, Najar, going to catch him on his leg and it's going to hurt him. But not something serious. And he did it. And he got caught. Now, what I think about that is maybe don't do that, like knowing that you have game 3
maybe
coming
don't
up.
do that when you're in the playoffs.
Yeah, like if you're in the regular season, whatever, that's everybody does it. I'm not mad at him for the actual action. I'm mad for him not understanding the circumstances and the situation that he's in and the situation that he puts the team in. If at that moment,
I think he does understand that, and he still does it.
But that's a good point as well. What I don't like is the fact that, as you said, in game, the referee saw it and said nothing. In the game, VAR saw it and said nothing. So to me, I'm not someone that likes retroactive suspensions, going back and looking at the game under a microscope and checking to see if we missed something. Like I hate that. I think it's ridiculous. I don't think it's part of the game in any sport, much less football, soccer. That should not be in the game. But there is precedent for that in MLS. That's how MLS operates. So as much as for those of us that don't like that this happened in Inter Miami, we may think it's unfair and that sort of thing. But at the end of the day, MLS has done this in the past with other games, so it's part of the rules, whether you like it or not. And unfortunately, now we're without our starting forward. But yeah, that's how I feel about it. I just think it was a lapse of judgment on Suárez's part. I'm not going to pretend that, incidental contact. Like, we know it wasn't. So, but
Yeah, I think it's just it's really a shame because you don't trust him now. You just really don't trust him. And I mean, how this shakes out for next season, there's still a lot of question marks. There's been reports that he has been offered a new contract for next year. There's some reports that he hasn't, some reports that he'll retire. I don't know. I will say this: I think Inter Miami fans have started to grow wary of Luis Suarez at this stage in his career because you
that's
can
very true.
say, yeah, this is true. You can say throughout his career, obviously there's been moments of this, but you've always like or he got X amount of goals or he was a top scorer in the Liga. He was scoring amazing for Liverpool. Um, Although this season he's been asked to do something different, and you would say that he's done a fairly decent job of creating for his teammates. Um, there's no excuse for this, and all it does is now gives Inter Miami and it gives Messi one less tool to use in a very very important game where it's supposed to be your partner in crime, someone that even in the games where it hasn't been great on offense, you still have that connection, you still can create and make moments. And do we think Messi's going to do it on his own? If you're asking me, I'd say yes, but overall, it's really a shame on Suarez, and I don't have many positive things to say about him uh, in this moment. To be completely honest, MLS too, it's not fair. I agree, but yeah, it's just
This is
putting
what
yourself in that position is just it's like why grow up like like you have to grow up at some point. You're not a kid anymore, and it's you just
yeah, and I mean, there's no growing up at this point. He's got what, a year left or something. If he keeps playing, like this is Suarez, and I think you knew who you brought in at the end of the day, and
yeah.
it's something you have to deal with. There's certain players that you bring on the team, the baggage they bring, and you know that you're going to deal with it, and you just hope that you're able to get through it. And a pivotal game, we're not going to have them, but we have other players that I think are going to be able to step up. However you may feel about Suárez, he's someone that's important to this team. He may not make the runs into space that maybe a normal center forward does, but he is very much part of the playmaking on this team.
Yeah,
He's somebody
agreed.
that passes actually very well. So he's going to be missed, but again, there are other players that I think can step in to fill that gap. You think about a guy like Baltasar Rodriguez comes in or takes his place. Tadeo Allende may move more center. Telasco's probably, Silvetti, but I think Silvetti may still be on the bench, and it's probably Telasco. So I mean, we'll probably talk about that towards the end as we think more about the game, the next game. But there are other players that can get in there. I just wanted to read what Inter Miami said, just so you can see that they agree with kind of what we were saying. It says Inter Miami accepts and respects the decision made by MLS disciplinary committee. At the same time, the club wishes to express its concern about the precedent set by re-refereeing a play that had already been judged by the match officials and VAR, and its confidence that the same standard will be applied in the future to all on-field situations in any match involving any team. So you best believe that moving forward, Inter Miami will rewatch every single game looking for something that should be re-refereed. That's they're basically
the amount of chips and marks that happen to Messi every match. Never one.
They're trying to. That's basically what they're saying. In layman's terms, they're saying, you want to call this, you want to do this. All right, wait till we bring something up to you, and we will. And that's what they're basically saying. So
it will be interesting to see how tomorrow's game is refereed. That's for sure.
Yeah, time to get petty. They will. They will, believe me. This is basically what that statement is saying. Is it all right? That's what you want to do? Okay.
Agreed. But so with the players who are gonna play, let's talk about two that have to have an important impact. Obviously, number one is Lionel Messi, which is I believe he will. He's done it his whole career. He's going to continue to do it. He got that great goal last game. This is obviously a do or die must win match. Every card is on the table. I expect Messi to do what he needs to do in order to perform, in order to put the team in the best position to win. Do you agree with that statement?
Yeah, I do. I agree. I think that you need there's 5 guys on this team, and all 5 of them have a higher expectation than any other person on the team. And you need De Paul, you need Busquets, you need Jordi, outside of Messi, to have an incredible game. There are
So that's
times,
what I was gonna ask.
yeah,
Agreed. And like I said, I think we all expect Messi, and I would even say the same for Busquets and Alba. We expect them to give their best. I just do. Rodrigo de Paul. Let's talk about him. Because obviously, since he's come this season, we know the cost and we know the expectations. And he's had a few matches where I think he's shown his brilliance, and he's had some really good matches where I'm like, wow, this is great. This is a huge piece, and especially with Busquets retiring, he's going to have a big impact on this team. But then we've seen matches where he's made mistakes, maybe not been, not running as much as we expected, filling the spaces, filling the gaps, helping create for Messi and be that engine. Excuse me. What do you think is going to happen tomorrow with him? Because in my opinion, I'll say this: if he does have a great game, Inter Miami win, he shows up, he shows out, he dominates and inserts himself into the match in every moment, I'm going to say, great. This is what we wanted. This is why we brought Paul in here. Everything before tomorrow's game, fine. It was him adjusting. It was this, that, or the other. I don't care. If this is the Paul we get in big moments and in this match and in these playoffs, good. Let's start from here and go. If not, then I think there are serious questions that will be asked.
yeah, the Paul's going to be here next season no matter what. I mean, he can have a stinker of a game tomorrow, and he will be here next season. He can have a stinker of the rest of the playoffs, and he will be here next season. But you need him. You need him to have a good game if this team has a chance to make it to the finals. You have to. You have to. And why also? Because remember, you have a really good player sitting on the bench. Ash, I believe one of your favorite players is
Yeah.
sitting on the bench.
Is he Italian? Yeah.
Yannick Bright is sitting on the bench. One of your really good players that is really good at breaking everything up in that midfield, breaking everything up and playing in the right positions. And you've sacrificed him to put him on the bench for Rodrigo de Paul. So he has to show it. He has to earn it. He has to show why it is that he is there over Yannick Bright. And I think that he hasn't yet really shown that. I think at times you probably want Yannick Bright there more than Rodrigo de Paul, because you've seen him not make the type of passes you need from a midfielder in his position. You've seen him maybe not run as much as he should, be in the right places. But I expect more from him, and I really have my fingers crossed that that's what we'll see from Rodrigo de Paul moving forward, because you want to make a deep run, you want to win a championship, you need it from him. He's a guy that is going to be a DP next season, and he needs to show why. So
yeah, and I mean, we know that we're gonna have Lionel Messi for a long time, extended through 2028, which I think surprised.
Yeah, what
I
is
mean,
he,
again,
like 50?
yeah, right. I think it takes him to 41 if he finishes the contract. Takes him to 41. I know that it's a very friendly contract, though, in the sense that after each season, he can make the determination if he is, willing and able. But
Well, it
from
seems
what
like
I get
anybody
from it,
can nowadays. I mean, what does an Inter Miami contract mean, anyways, or what is it worth? You saw Jordi Alba sign a contract, and 3 months later, 4 months later, it's like, yeah, actually, never mind. But
we don't want Messi to do that. But obviously, the idea is he's going to be opening the stadium, and he's going to be finishing out his career with Inter Miami. There's no doubt about that, which
Great
is
news.
amazing. And yeah, I mean the level he's playing at now, shoot, he could be still the best player in the next 3 years. I mean, it's crazy to say, but just to your point, uh that I think makes everyone happy and just knowing, now we expect to see the DePaul and Messi partnership to continue to grow multiple times and produce. And I think that starts tomorrow. It needs to start tomorrow. Uh we're saying RDP is pushing it. He needs to give a really good performance tomorrow. I know regardless he'll be here next year and there's plenty of time, but if hopefully when we win tomorrow, it it means a completely different look into these playoffs because now you're no more best of 3, and like I said, with especially with Messi leading your charge, I I I bet on Messi, like, I choose Messi over X, Y, and Z, and this is now gonna be the 4th time these teams have played against each other in the last month, right? So it's not easy for anyone, and that includes, a game in Nashville where it's difficult situations. You had just won the previous 2. Uh, Everything is at stake for Nashville. It's their elimination game. Like, losing by 1 goal, it's not like it means, "Oh, Inter Miami had a complete shutdown and everything's horrible, da, da, da." It's part of what the reality of playing sports, and again, when it's your 4th of 5th matches playing against each other, or excuse me, the 3rd or 4th times you played each other, those things can happen. What it really is all about is Inter Miami tomorrow, moving past it, brushing that off. You don't have Suárez. Okay, well, that means now you have speed in whether it's Baltasar, Segovia, or Civetti, and I expect to see power, attacking, going, taking control of the game, scoring 5 goals, DePaul being everywhere, Busquets being everywhere, and the team getting themselves not only the win, but putting themselves in a position and a feeling to keep going.
Damn, you were inspired, huh? Holy
Oh,
cow. That was good stuff.
vamos, Sane,
For real, for real. That was like what are those pep talks right before the game, man.
I'm gonna
If
be an
only Inter Miami could
inspirational
hire you to
speaker. You hear me say that in Spanish, it's even more inspirational.
you should go to the locker room before the game. 100% we'd win with a beautiful
No, I don't wanna be
speech
around
there.
all those sweating men. I don't, but yeah.
No, look, I think yeah, you need Rodrigo de Paul and you're gonna need everybody to step up, and I think they will. I really do have confidence in this team. Damn, and I was gonna say something and I forgot what I was gonna bring up.
Well,
Oh
while you're thinking about this go ahead.
no, I said yeah, probably let's talk about what you're probably gonna bring up right now. Go ahead. I know what you're gonna say.
It's just this point about Suárez, which I think is important, that just I know we've moved on, but he's lost 65 games due to suspension over the years because of things like biting, spitting, violent conduct. Great player, appalling human. And it's what's interesting about it? I know we're not gonna keep talking about it. And like I said, I'm really furious at him, but we've had the chance to speak to Luis Suarez a couple times over the last year. Fortunately, with our position and our opportunities we've gotten with the show. And I will say he's nothing but nice and kind, and he seems like with his family, with his friends, with the people he meets, he seems like a very nice guy,
Look,
and so it's just so crazy that you
I'll
see this side.
no, 100%. I'll speak to that really quick. Okay. There's something that we say for us that play soccer or football. There's a saying, and the saying basically says anything that happens on the pitch stays on the pitch. And I've met and have friends that would do anything for you, that are the kindest,
Yeah.
the coolest people. Dude, you play against them, you would think that they are the worst human beings
Yeah.
in the world. My cousin,
Sports,
and I'm actually,
competitiveness,
dude,
yeah.
I have a cousin, that he's like my brother, and I'll probably clip this for him. He'll probably be entertained to know I'm talking about him on here. That dude is a mother effing animal on the pitch. I hate him sometimes. He will kick you, he will grab you, he will do things that I will not even say on the pitch. But outside of that, bro, the coolest human being we've ever seen. And look, what you said about Suárez is true. you may see something on the pitch and it's part of the game. Some people have that where they're just like, I'm going to do anything that I can to throw the opponent off of their game,
Right.
to play mind games, to do whatever I have to. But outside of the pitch, he is kind, he's funny, he likes to talk to you, the way he interacts with his kids. Like, I like to distinguish those things. You
Yeah.
know, what you see on the pitch, I never like to carry that over to what you see off of the field, because it's not the same. Like, you may not, if you played against me one of these days, maybe what we're on the field, you may not like me because of something I do on the field. But at the end of the day, like, those are two different.
Yeah, if
two
I
different
played
things.
against you, I know you'd slide tackle me to freaking Mars. So I'm not gonna risk it.
100%.
Francisco,
100%.
I have a 2-inch cleat scar on my shin, courtesy of one of my best friends. Yeah, so I think that is
So
the
you know
consensus.
that. You
The
know how
only
it works.
difference is, this is what I'll say is the difference, is that when you're playing in your local league, in your rec league, or you're playing, with your friends, and that happens, is one thing. But also when you're a professional and you have a team and a city and a fan base counting on you, I think I think you have to hold a little bit more
Okay,
responsibility.
I like that you said that. I'm gonna disagree with you. Okay, I'll tell you why I disagree with
With
you.
how much Suárez gets paid and the fact that he won't be playing
Oh,
tomorrow, you don't think that's, like, a worthy of any type of
dude,
irresponsibility?
it makes more sense to be like that, getting paid and being an MLS. Imagine we were just playing in a rec league,
Yeah,
then
that's
nothing
true,
matters. Like,
yeah.
we're here cleating each other, punching each other. I fought people on the pitch, and I'm like, bro. Then on Monday we go to our
We're
9 to 5.
adults who are just playing
Like,
for fun, yeah.
yeah, we're playing. We have no trophy on the line. We're making $0. In fact, we needed to pay $10 to be on the pitch. Like,
I'm
and at the
dead,
end of the
you're
day,
right, you're right.
like, we're fighting like if it was a final. It makes more sense to these guys that have so much on the line, that are like trying to, they're getting paid
True
to
enough,
do that type of stuff. But then there's
true enough.
us idiots on the pitch that are making $0, or like fighting like it was a championship on the line. It's so stupid.
That's funny. You know what? You got me there, you're right. That I guess in the end, Suarez just cares so much, and we should value that, but, uh, look, so back to the game and the people who are playing, let's talk about what we think is gonna happen in tomorrow's game, right? So, in terms
Wait,
of
we can, before we go to, let's talk about the two news. I'm probably not even saying this right. Let's talk about the news about two coaches.
Oh, okay, well, yeah, I was about to say starting with Mascherano, so you
Yeah.
100% you're picking up what I'm putting down. Wait, just really quickly, this is funny. Fair point about on and off the field. Equally, Ted Bundy, John Wayne Gacy, who are said to be model citizens. That's true. That's true.
They
That's
were
also
really nice on
true.
the pitch. Like, they
Really
were really
nice,
nice.
really, really nice guy. Yeah,
Oh,
Ted
jeez.
Bundy, what a guy. Great guy. That's what they've said about him. Don't
Not to
quit
be
me on
confused with Al Bundy, right? We're talking about a different guy. Okay.
different guy. Yeah, different guy, different guy. So yeah, so starting with who is not our current coach anymore, but was our coach last year, of course. Uh Tata Martino back in MLS after his sabbatical, I guess you could say, when him and Inter Miami decided to mutually part ways during last offseason, quote unquote. Uh and when Mascherano took over, Tata has not had a job for this MLS season, but has officially signed to be Atlanta's new head coach for next season. And we obviously know that Tata Martino has a very illustrious coaching career, coaching for a lot of big teams, countries, etc. Uh, coached for Atlanta, and I believe in 2018 it was won the MLS Cup, so has a lot of history with that club. And not to say the same as Luis Suarez, we've said that Tata was a really kind, great man. Always answered, especially for me, always answered my questions when I asked him in English. And was always kind, thorough, etc. Didn't work out for Inter Miami, but we will see him back in MLS for next season. Do you think Inter Miami missed out, or do you think it's just a nice, good evolution of another coach?
I think that he was fired.
Yep. Okay. You don't think they mutually parted ways? Okay.
I'm leaning 60 to 75% towards he was fired,
Yep.
and he was fired for the same reason that if Maturano doesn't win the championship, he should be fired, which is
Not good.
Mascherano had an incredible team and got bounced in the first round.
Mm-hmm.
That's why Mascherano is no longer here. Now, Mascherano, now I'm saying Mascherano. I'm sorry.
Martino, yeah.
Tata Martino, yeah. But that's why Tata Martino is not here. But Tata Martino, in an interview recently in Argentina, basically said that he had some business or something personal, rather, to deal with in Argentina, which would have kept him away from the team for like the first half of the season. And he thought it wouldn't be fair, obviously, to coach them be away for the first half of the season and then come back towards the end. And that's why they agreed to kind of go their separate ways. I don't know how much of that I believe, simply because the performance wasn't there that season. So it would make sense that he's not with the team. But now he's back in Atlanta and he has experience there. He's won with them. He's won a championship. So all the best to him. Like you said, he was a really nice guy, really great guy. And he's got coaching experience, obviously.
I'll say.
I mean, he's coached the best of them. So we'll see how it goes with them. But now we have a coach now that is inexperienced, that has a chance to redeem what has been so far a failure of a season. And he's a game away from possibly seeing the same future as Tata Martino and having a personal situation back home as well. That'll make
All right. So then on that note, with Mascherano, you brought up something about his coaching and the fact that MLS has announced their finalists for MLS Coach of the Year. He's not one of the three. We will say, obviously, Messi is one of the three for the MVP finalists, and I think we all know he's going to win, deservedly. But Mascherano, not a top 3 coach. Do you think he's been a top 5 coach, a top 10 coach? Let's see, there's 30 teams, right, in MLS. How would you rank him in that? Or is your ranking not decided yet because you need to see how these next few weeks, starting with tomorrow, plays out?
I think if he didn't have Busquets, Alba, De Paul, Messi, and Suárez,
I don't think he'd be the coach of any team in the MLS if he didn't have those players.
That's a good point. If we didn't have Messi, he wouldn't even be here. So that's a very good point. But the point I'm trying to make is that if he didn't have those players, you would say he's had a good run.
This is fair. I agree with this. Definitely.
Yeah. He 100% breaks top 30. 100%. He breaks top 30. We can't be unfair in that way. He breaks top 30. But look, when you have those guys on your team, the expectation is higher. So the fact that he hasn't won anything and he's missed out on 4 trophies.
3.
It's Champions Cup, it's Leagues Cup, it's Champions Leagues, FIFA Club World Cup 3,
Yeah.
and then if you want to count Supporter Shield as a trophy, that's 4.
Okay. All right. So then, yeah, you go. Okay, 4.
Even though I don't count Supporter Shield as a trophy, but you got me. It's 4. So yeah, I mean, the fact that he's got those players and he hasn't gotten any of those 4 things, and he's a game away from not winning a championship, I think is hurt him tremendously within those rankings. So that's why he's obviously he's not a top 30. So he's definitely top 30. So I think that,
and we'll have to see, right? I mean, again, I think, look, he made it. I think making it to the round, like we said, we've said this many times on the show, and only time will tell, starting with tomorrow, if we end the season with Inter Miami. To me, either being in the final or winning MLS Cup, I'll say for his first year coaching, I think he did a good enough job. Made it to the final in Leagues Cup, made it to the quarterfinal in the Champions Cup, made it to the round of 16 in the Club World Cup, where you're playing Real Madrid and Chelsea and etc. Like, that was never, making it out of the group stage is something to be proud of. And if he wins the MLS Cup, then you're looking at the season and you're like, wins 1 trophy, pretty close on 2 of the 4, with an up and down season. I'd say great. Let's year 2 now, without you have a fresh start, you have the players, etc. Let's see what you got. If you don't win, and if you lose tomorrow, right, or you don't make it out of the first round, the second round, etc. I mean, yeah, that's true. Like, we can't get that ahead of ourselves, but I'm just saying, when you're looking at it, if all those things go right, I'm saying, and he ends there, you're looking at it in one way. If not, then I don't know. I mean, do Inter Miami have to go back to square one? Well, I think that'll be something we discuss further if, depending on tomorrow's match. But I think how this next match and these next matches, being hopeful, play out will be a huge factor in Javier Mascherano's story with Inter Miami and just his story as a professional coach. It's this is your make or break time.
Yeah, I'm just praying Xavi's here next season. That's who I want. So but
Here's a question for you really quick. This is just like intrusive thoughts. Would you, if you knew Xavi was going to be the coach next year, let's just say you knew that, okay, would you say, okay, I'll sacrifice Inter Miami losing tomorrow, or would you rather Inter Miami get to the final / win the final, but it means you definitely are having Mascherano for another 2 years? Really quick fire.
That's not easy. That's not
You
an easy
thinking
question.
way too much. How could you say that? Inter Miami winning the final is way more important. Coaches come and go.
But you know why though? I'll tell you why I'm even thinking about it. And I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say no. You win a championship. I 100%. You want them to win a championship. I don't care about anything after that. But here's what I say about Xavi. If he wins a championship, I don't know if he's gonna win a championship the next 3 seasons. If we have Xavi, I think he can get the mess out of this team.
This could sound confusing to people. Xavi.
And I think Xavi can get the best out of this team and can have other players also, just the way that Messi's pulling players. A combination of Xavi coaching Messi pulls even more players. I just think that you bring in Xavi in the next at least 2.
It does sound like you're saying the same name over and over. But I know what you're saying. X versus J. Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. Yeah, I didn't catch on to that. I was like, what the hell is she talking about? Javi, that's funny. Okay. But look, Mascherano, just so we don't get confused, I'm not going to say Xavi. Mascherano needs to win, because if Mascherano, I don't care if he makes it to the final. I don't care if he makes it to the final and loses in penalties. If he doesn't win the final, he shouldn't be here next season. That's the most important to think about. So before we get too ahead of ourselves about who's going to be coaching here next season, he has to. If not, it's a failure of a season. So my fingers crossed. I'm hoping that he can do it. He definitely has the tools to do it. With Suárez or no Suárez, he's got a deep enough team.
He's got the tool, the number one tool in the world.
So, yeah. He's got the power drill. He's got it. So he's got it. He can do it. I don't know. I actually don't know. Is that the best tool to compare?
I have no idea. No idea. Never built. Never
he
done anything.
He plugs in every hole that this team has.
Oh God.
No. All right. Whatever.
Okay.
Anyways, sorry.
I hope that doesn't get clipped. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, as we wrap up the show, I think a lot of good points, and like we said, how tomorrow goes will dictate a lot. We as Inter Miami fans, Messi fans, fans of this team, of the city, are hoping for a win, right? And to continue our story this season, and make a push for the MLS Cup. So with that in mind, what is your prediction for tomorrow? And get as specific or as non-specific as you want, and just what you like to see. And also in the chat, if you want, give your score prediction, or who you think is going to score, and how you want the game to play out. And hopefully, in let's see, 24 plus 4 in 28 hours from now, we'll know. We'll know if this was if we're right, and if this Inter Miami team is cruising and continuing, or if we're having another nightmare postseason where you have to look into everything.
Last 4 games: Miami beats Nashville 2-1, Miami beats Nashville 5-2, Miami beats Nashville 3-1, Nashville beats us 2-1. So using those score lines, I have no idea.
And Miami should have it. Yeah.
Miami's going to win, and Miami's going to win 2-1. Why? Because I think it'll be a very close game. I think it'll be a close game. It's a go home, win or go home game for both teams. They both want it. I think Nashville's going to come in with confidence, knowing that they finally broke the streak of losing. I think that they're taking this game very serious. They feel like
No,
they can win it.
Suárez,
They
yeah.
won, and I think that this game has become a rivalry. In my opinion, it's officially become a rivalry game
Yeah.
because of how many times they've matched up. You go back to Leagues Cup.
Yep.
This is an actual real rivalry, and I think that it's going to be tough for Inter Miami to win. I think they're going to have to figure out a way to win now without Suárez, where they're again that's just moving Tadeo Allende into the center forward spot and then bringing in Telasco off of the bench. We'll have to see how he does with that, but you're going to need this defense to be on top of its game because this defense sometimes has been leaky, and to me, that's where I worry the most because Nashville at times with Hani Mukhtar, with Sam Surridge, with these guys up front can be very dangerous. So if we can have a solid defense, if we can keep Busquets, for the love of God, keep Busquets in the midfield. Do not play him in the defense. If you have Busquets in the midfield, we will win this game and we will win 2-1.
Well, I think we're gonna win as well. I think we're gonna win, and this was a great point that Nashville's won 1 out of 10. Um, I said that the last game was tricky. It was tricky for any team, no matter how great you are, going into the away environment when it's their elimination game, your fourth time playing each other after you've won 3. It's difficult for anyone. It really is. Sports can't be that easy or predictable. That's why we love them so much. But with that in mind, Inter Miami will get it done tomorrow. And I think they're actually going to get it done with more than with just a 1 goal difference. I think they're going to win 3-1.
3-1.
I
Okay.
think 3-1.
100%.
And I think though Inter Miami are going to dominate the game in terms of possession. And although Nashville will have their chances, and like you said, when you have Mukhtar and when you have Sam Surridge, obviously great players, means counters, and it means that opportunities will come, set pieces, and Miami have struggled with, etc. Those things are all always in play. But I will say, with Messi and Alba and Busquets and DePaul, they will get it done. I think the defense has been playing well recently. Even though obviously Rios Novo had the penalty, I think we all agree he's been a really great goalkeeper for us. Has been doing a great job over the last few weeks. And when you have Baltasar Rodriguez, who's been immense for us recently, Tadeo, you just need to finish one. Just need to finish 1 or 2 of them. Silvetti, who's this absolute, energy and all those things, and you can start now. Now you're looking at an offense where Messi and DePaul and Busquets are going to be looking for those players with speed to make those runs over the top, keep the defense honest, create chances, create moments. And I take Inter Miami in that. And so I think we're not going to see a repeat of last season. I feel good about this team. I feel good about we're seeing Messi right now in one of the best forms he's been in. Some would even say since the World Cup. I mean, just the way he's played this season, the goal contributions,
Incredible.
the consistency, just amazing. He's just amazing. He really is. And we have him for a long time. So it's just the start, and tomorrow is a continuation of that story. So Inter Miami win. Vamos, vale. Here we go.
Yeah, agreed.
Saying all the words.
Yeah, we're gonna win tomorrow. We're gonna win. We're gonna win.
Y se
We are
puede.
going to win, and we're not going to have. It's. Let's just not have one of those games where we're just nervous till the end. I really.
We're not gonna be nervous.
3-1, like you said, where we're celebrating the last 5-10 minutes, not sweating. Like
We got this.
Yeah.
We got and me and Gian will be reunited. We haven't seen each other in a while. Had traveling and other things, but we'll be at the game. We're very lucky that we get the opportunity to do so. To get to watch the game, and of course we'll be keeping you updated throughout the whole match. So make sure you are following us on X at Messi Co. Make sure you're subscribed on YouTube at 5 Reasons Football. And yeah, we're here. Playoffs, baby. Game 3 must win. This is, I was about to say the best term in all of sports, but this is a very American saying, is Game 7 is the best thing the best 2 words in sports.
Game 3, baby.
But it's the same thing. Game 3 of MLS, first round. Inter Miami are going to get it done. Lionel Messi is going to get it done. And we can't wait and see it. So thank you for watching. Any final thoughts, Gian, before we go?
Nope, you said it all. Let's go Inter.
Vamos, vamos. Okay, all right. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope you have a great day, a great weekend. I hope you're ready for tomorrow. Comment your score, and we'll be checking them, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. But yeah, for this episode of Messi Co, I'm Ashley. That is Gian, and we will see you next time.
See you guys.